Hey Amanda, so as you and probably the entire internet knows, the trio has been casted for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. With this, a lot of discussion has been brought about the actress that plays Hermione. Although it's not necessarily very relevant discussion, a lot of it surrounds a particular facet of her looks, which I guess is on par for most of the things that people like to complain about or praise actors for. They've been talking about the fact that the actress is black, as though the idea of a black Hermione is a particularly new idea, which it's not. It might be new to some of these people. I know I actually get thrown off when I see a white Hermione in fan art at this point, but not a lot of people, I guess, have been in that culture, so it makes sense for them to be maybe taken back at first, but to be so against it is really ridiculous, honestly. But with this, J.K. Rowling has spoken up. She is for people's interpretation of Hermione as black. Not necessarily that she wrote her as black, but that if someone were to say that she is black, they are not necessarily wrong. Which is nice, I guess, but praising her for this feels a whole lot like white boy is Newtown hero for deciding not to use the N-word anymore. Woman should be thanked for not intentionally misgendering trans person that she saw on public transportation. Like, sure, all of those things are good to do, but they're not praiseworthy. It's just common decency. Now, unfortunately, there are enough people that are against the idea of a black Hermione because they don't like it, or so I guess to a point there is a need to say, wow, good job. But I think people are going a little bit far with it. Like, letting people see your characters as people of color is not the same thing as actually writing people of color into your novels. And so it's not like Harry Potter is all of a sudden diverse literature because she says, yeah, sure, Hermione can be black. I guess praising her for this colorblind sort of writing is kind of messed up. And I think some people would like to think that this sort of colorblindness is inclusive, but it's not. Especially when the reason that she really didn't describe, I think, most of the character's race isn't necessarily so that people can see whatever they want to see. I think it's because the assumption is that they are white. Not that that necessarily makes her a bad person or anything like that. I don't think that it makes her particularly forward. Meanwhile, authors who actually write diverse content aren't talked about nearly as much as they should. This is all sort of similar to when J.K. Rowling came out and said that Dumbledore was gay. While it is nice that she has a gay character in her story, whose participation in it isn't centered around his sexuality, is nice. Not actually talking about his sexuality at all in the story sort of negates any purpose that it could have had. Meanwhile, she had a lot of characters that she had the opportunity to offhandedly mention little things about, like saying that a male character was holding hands with another male character or something like that. And she didn't take that opportunity, which is sort of understandable because of when it was published. It wouldn't have been received nearly as well. But she still doesn't, I guess, deserve that sort of credit just because she simply didn't have that diversity in her books. Although I don't think that she necessarily had as much of an excuse like that for not putting in racially diverse characters, but it is what it is at this point. That's about all that I have for this video, so hopefully I will see you soon, Amanda.